Good morning. This is Two Bros
At Casa Esanola.
on episode 3. So this is day 3.5, just about.
Yeah.
And I'm Bill.
This is Mac.
This is our guest,
Julie.
Julie. So she's here today to share our adventures from yesterday. But to start off, I wanted to ask you and Julie, what are your vibes so far?
It's been pura vida.
Pura vida?
Pura vida.
And what does that mean? Pure life?
Pure life. That's
Pure life.
really a good
Did you
definition.
think about that? I just asked you that question. That was amazing.
Yeah. So pura vida is kind of like the saying in Costa Rica, and just want to live a pure life, and that's really the vibes that we're getting here.
Oh my gosh. Can you beat that?
Uh-huh.
I think filling, it's like you had all these expectations coming and it's just filled so far, all those expectations. So, and we do have Julie here and she's the brains behind this operation. I mean, we would not be having the fun we're having if it wasn't for Julie. So she's a powerhouse. But, so food, what did we think yesterday?
Food was great. I had my first time having raw fish for our appetizer. I don't remember exactly what it was called.
Sashimi.
It is interesting. Let's say it has little flavor, but is a very rich, buttery texture.
And what kind of fish is it?
It was yellowfin tuna, freshly caught yellowfin tuna. So
yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit later. So, and food.
Amazing. Totally amazing. Luis, fabulous.
Luis, and did you have a favorite from last night?
I liked all the different sauces last night. We had both fish and pork, and we had barbecue sauce. There was a orange mango sweet and savory sauce that was really good, and there was some kind of soy sauce with garlic and onions, and it was a real savory sauce. It was good.
Banana ice cream.
Oh,
I got banana ice cream.
I'm like, what? Yesterday, the monkey party, not banana ice cream, and I didn't know about this? I need to get on the in group.
Yeah.
I honestly like the salad. Millie
Salad
did
was
not
good.
like the salad.
Yeah.
She gave 3/4 of hers up.
Yeah.
Not to me, but I was like, I could definitely eat that.
It was good.
The salad was like this Asian type of fish. Well, to me,
Yeah.
it reminds me of sort of an Asian
Yeah.
type of salad, so very good. Mac, you want to do our Power 5?
Today,
Number 5. So
number 5. What for people or whatever?
advanced people.
I'll put number 5. It is a tied 5 between John and Sam. So we went out fishing on the boat, and we were like, how are we gonna rotate between fishing? And they were like, let's do it by age. And then so that the old guys were definitely from oldest to youngest. I'm like, fine, whatever, they have seniority. So we started doing that, but rotation went around a couple times catching bait fish, and then when it came to my turn on bait fish, we actually hooked a sailfish, which was really cool, really fun, hard fight. But then since I'm the youngest, I went to the oldest. So then both Dan and Keith got to catch a sailfish, but John and Sam did not. But they kept a really good attitude, and they were still having a great time, even though they couldn't bring one in. But
Mac, let's not leave the subject yet. So have you ever caught a sailfish
I've
before?
never caught a sailfish before.
Don't want to sail right over that subject.
Yes, and so you've never caught. So did you know what to expect?
I did not. So I was just expecting bait fish because I saw the bait fish rod go down. The next thing you know, we have another line being spread out this way. It's just going zzz, and then next thing I know, there's just a sailfish.
So what went through your mind? Suddenly you go from 0 to 10.
It was
What went
0
through
to
your mind?
100.
What went through your mind?
I was like, no way, this is real. I'm like, that's a sailfish because we were in the marina and Captain Franklin was like, okay, we're gonna go out and try to catch tuna and mahi mahi. He's like, there's a very slight chance we might catch sailfish.
No way.
And I was riding on the 45-minute ride out there. I'm like, I want to catch a sailfish. I'm like, that would be
my God.
awesome. And we ended up catching 3.
Pure vitae.
Yeah, pure vita.
Yeah, pure vita. Yeah. That's so. So it took you. You were 15 miles out,
15 miles out.
and it took you about 15, 20 minutes to get it in?
Yeah,
And it was jumping and...
it was jumping. We actually hooked 2 at the same time, but since we were like running back and forth, the other one ended up just ripping off the bait.
Oh.
So there was a possibility we could have pulled in 2 at the same time, but that would have been very hard to do since they are very aggressive and they jump a lot. So.
All right. Well, we'll come back to that as we talk about the others. So, number 5 for me, I'll start from the bottom, was your parents, Kale and Kelly. I could vibe with them. They're like, we just want to go to the beach and just chill. And I'm like, that is cool. Now, I don't do that, but I'm like, you know, I could do it after I'm tired. So that was very, I was very cool with that. You know, and your dad, very unsuspecting. He's just like, yeah, I'll just lay here. And I like the chill factor with your parents. That was, Kale and Kelly, they have a great chill factor.
Yeah.
So, number 4 for me was Jasper. What got these waves? And I got there, I'm going to get a boogie board. And Jasper's like, I'm going out there too. And so Juniper, Jasper, and I went out there, and Jasper's, he picked up the boogie board also, he got one. And, you know, I have to get Elizabeth to tell the story, but he hit a wave trying to get out there with his boogie board, and it wiped him out. But he was so tenacious. It was, I was very impressed with his tenacity.
Yeah.
And he was trying to watch, you know, we were just out there like 2 surfers, you know, and it's pretty chill out here, you know. But when we caught the waves, it was, and they were great waves. They were, I don't know what the word for it, but they were cutting just really clean, and they were making their curls. And so when you caught a wave, you felt it in many ways. So,
Awesome.
So that was number 4 for me.
Yeah.
Number 4 for you.
I would put Old Davison because
I know where it's going because I had Davidson in my top 5. Maybe. I don't know. Is this fishing trip?
this is Davidson from when we were playing games.
Okay. Well, tell me.
So we were playing Cards vs. Humanity, the Family Edition, and Davidson's like, "No, I don't want to play. I don't want to play." He's like, "This game's not funny or whatever." So he's like, he was playing a game on his phone or something like that, looking at something on his phone, and then just like every time cards were just being read out, he was cackling, just dying. It was hilarious. So that was a good highlight, just listening to him, listening to us play the game that he did not want to play, but I feel like he was missing out.
So do you have any top 5? 5 or 4? We want to get
what
to
are they, like moments, or what is this?
moments, people. We think about it, center around people. So.
I wasn't prepared for that.
Okay, well, if you think about it, okay, because we're gonna get to your story.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm sitting here, so I don't want to blow that one yet.
Yeah, so that's like 1 or 2. We'll see. So we always have this crowd around us. You just have to, this podcast, it may be few in the States, but there's tons of people around us right now just wanting to join in. So we have to be very selective. Number 3 for me, I'll put Davidson in that because Julie shared the story about Caroline that was very traumatic. I had not realized that, and how she has this allergy where she.
It's food, exercise-induced anaphylaxis.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to try to say that, but the fact that someone has that, where they exercise too fast after eating certain foods, and so she shared a story about when Caroline played basketball, she went into anaphylactic shock, and how if the nurse or the doctor that Julie didn't know wasn't available in a certain amount of time, she would have gone home, and who knows what would have happened. And Davidson stood up and said, "If that had happened, I wouldn't be here." I thought, boy, that changed the focus of that story. Oh dear, I thought that was hilarious. So, number, was that number 3 for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you do number 3 yet?
No,
I lose count.
I think I did. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. I'll go to my 3 spot. I'll put Captain Franklin up there, our boat captain. He was bringing the good vibes on the boat. He was running around this trash pile that we were centered around, which was acting as like an artificial reef with all the bait fish, so the bigger fish will come up and eat the bait fish around this artificial reef that's actually just trash that someone balled together. But he was on the fish finder, and I was like, "Where are we going?" He was like just going around different little patterns, but he asked me to come up and like look at the fish finder with him. He was actually tracking these fish and trying to find the sailfish, and then we hooked 3 of them. So I guess he was doing pretty great. So it was
That's
impressive his skills, and he could spot fish in the water that are like 50, 60 yards off the boat. He's like, baby mahi. I'm like, whoa.
That's why you pay him.
Impressive. Yeah.
That's why you pay him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is I got to give it up to Millie and to Wyatt, because sometimes you just need to be validated, and they sat there and watched some of my old videos for 15, 20 minutes last night, and they were just, I was crying I was crying. Y'all were in bed. I was crying. They were crying because I found a diary of me preparing for my colonoscopy.
Oh.
And so I would give a little diary about taking the Docalax and taking the Miralax and everything. It was like a 7-part diary.
Wow.
And we were just, I was crying because I really had never watched it before. And they were crying. It was a special moment.
That's hilarious. That's a colonoscopy. I did not think you're going there.
I had no idea I'd go there either.
I thought when you said diary, it was gonna be like your first kid. Or not a colonoscopy.
Whatever came up, man.
That's funny. I put my number 2 spot with. This would be more of like a scenario, and it was with Wyatt. We were looking at like the appetizers, and there was a big tube of wasabi. And Wyatt was like, "What are the odds that you just go with the wasabi?" I'm like, 1 in 7. Just trying to be a little risky with it. And he's like, "All right." And got Jasper to count us off to 3, and it's kind of like if you've never done like what are the odds, you pick a number between 1 and whatever you say, and if you say the same number as the other person, you have to do the dare or whatever.
I've not heard this before. That's good to know.
And so once Jasper counted us off to 3, we both conveniently said number 2 at the same time, and we ended up dying laughing and folding onto the ground laughing because we were not expecting that. So then after we ate our appetizers, I had to get a nice little squeeze of wasabi, and it was not as spicy. Like, this is the first time I've ever had wasabi, so it was not as spicy as like I thought people were gonna say, but it was just like eating a Sharpie, if that makes any sense. Like with the flavor.
That makes no sense, by the way.
Have you ever had wasabi?
I've never had a
Sharpie.
Sharpie.
So like smelling a Sharpie. It's like, the smell of a Sharpie.
Okay, yeah.
Tell me that's not the taste of wasabi. This wasabi tasted like.
Okay, I will try that today. I'll have a little spicy of wasabi.
Yeah.
And,
it tastes a lot like some kind of cleaner. Like, it is very in your face, kind of gingery, not very spicy. It's just like a punch. If that makes any sense.
So, my number 1. Let me set this up. We went to 5 of them went fishing, caught a bunch of sailfish, had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of us went to the beach, which is about 2 miles down the road, 5 minutes, and had a blast. The waves were perfect. You had trees over for shade. I grabbed my boogie board. I went out there. I got demolished on these big waves. I mean, the first 2 waves, I was just like, I'm gonna die, but this is gonna be great doing it. But we did a walk down the beach, and we saw Julie, and she shared this harrowing story. And I just had to bring her back here for my number 1 today. So Julie, could you share this harrowing story that, I think we're pretty fortunate that you and your mom are here today. So just share that. What happened?
Yeah, well, so we met Kelly and Kale coming back from their long walk on the beach. And Kelly said, "Oh, at the end, you gotta go to the end. It's so serene. It's so lovely." So my mom, who's 87, and me and Caroline went down to walk and got down there, and it was great. There were shells, and we loved looking for shells. And so Mom was looking down. We were all looking down at shells, but the waves by then were pretty rough. So as they were coming in, they were crashing in.
They were rough.
And coming up high. The tide was coming in. So we were all looking down, and I was more into the water than Mom was because I was keeping her out of the water on purpose. And the wave hit me, and I turned around to say, "Mom, watch out the wave!" And she was out. It took her legs out from under her.
Did she land on her rear end?
She landed on her rear end.
Good.
All feet and arms up in the air. Rear end was the only thing on the water.
I love Joy.
So it was spinning her.
Spinning her.
And she had no ability to stop herself. But the worst thing was there was a tree down. So not a branch, which I was saying yesterday. It was a tree.
I was thinking, yeah, tree, right, but it was a legitimate tree.
You know, I mean, this big around. And it was bent, so the way it was laying, as the wave took Mom out, Mom was spinning on the water, and the wave went up and then got the tree and was bringing it back. So right where her head was, the tree was coming. So I just jumped in, grabbed Mom with one hand, grabbed the tree with the other, so it didn't give her a concussion, whacking her in the head. But meanwhile, the whole time the wave's pulling Mom, and I just said, "Don't let go of me, because it's taking you." And she was gripping me. And
so, what was your mom doing at this point? Was she saying anything?
no, she couldn't say anything. It happened so quickly. She didn't even know what was happening. She just knew I'm wet, and some force is pulling me to the sea.
And right behind you was just rock after rock after rock. So if she had just even gone 20 feet, it would have been rock after hitting
Well,
rock.
my mom can't swim.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a big piece. She cannot swim.
I had no idea that. Backfire.
So I just was gripping for dear
Oh,
life,
God.
and then when I could let go of the tree because the waves were no longer moving it, I hollered for Caroline, who turned around and came running and grabbed Mom with me. And it feels like that water was pulling her forever, because even by the time Caroline got there,
far.
yeah, we were still, Caroline and I both battling against the water to help Mom to stand up. And as soon as we got her stood up, 2 men came running to help us, which was very nice of them.
Yeah.
But, a little too late.
A little too late.
I guess they could have gone in the water to get her if I had not caught her. But she can't get that out of her mind. She just keeps
Really?
replaying it. Oh yeah.
In a bad way, a good way?
I'm sure in a thankful way, but the what ifs
Yeah.
scenarios.
Yeah, we're always that close to, seeing Jesus one way or the other. So, yeah, that was great. We just see them walking around and down the beach, and she's wet. And we're like, oh, she's wet, and now we know she doesn't go in the water. So what happened? So, anyway, that was crazy.
Well, the water. I mean, for all of us, even that water hit you coming in, and it could take us down. I mean, it just was really rough.
And then then Joy proceeded to tell me how waves have been such a big part of her life, and how she had to marry her husband because, her. Anyway, we'll let Joy tell that story. I don't think I'm allowed to tell that story. It's not my story to tell. So anyway, but waves have been a big part of her life. So. Did you have a number one?
So my number one would be so Captain Franklin had a first mate, I guess you could call him, Alex. So Alex was the guy who did everything besides driving the boat for us. He was running around hooking lines, and he was setting them up, putting them in different directions, making sure they didn't cross, which was very crazy. We had 6 rods out, and the rods never tangled once.
Wow.
Yes, insane. And he was just constantly doing something, and he just had a smile on his face the whole time, and it was just great having him around. He cut us up a pineapple when the fish were slow, and I'm like, man, this is great. We're living in luxury, and this guy's running around doing stuff, but just a good guy. I enjoyed talking to him, and helped me hook the fish. It's great.
Do you want to do any shout outs? You don't have a top 5, but any shout outs?
Oh, my shout out's Luis, because we were being
Luis.
fed very, very well.
Yes.
Speaking of that, kid said 1 minute till breakfast.
Yeah, so we have banana pancakes we're getting ready for. So it's, what time is it?
It's 6:27.
6:27. So we were going today to zip line, so we'll have some fun stories tomorrow to share with
Can't wait.
you. But thanks for joining us for episode 3.